Hello, 9th and 10th graders. This is Mrs. Holzer from the counseling department. Your counselors want you to know that we hope you and your families are doing well and that you're doing your best to navigate this time of distance learning. In a more typical year around this time, your counselors would be coming around to your English and social studies classes to spend time in the computer lab introducing you to a program called Naviance. Prior to watching this video, you should have received an email with registration information that you will need to activate your account. If you have trouble accessing your account or you did not receive the email, please contact your counselor via email. The email you received will include a link to your login page, but in the future, the easiest way to access Naviance is directly on the high school website. When you go to the high school website and you scroll down, you'll find a direct link to Naviance. The first time you access Naviance, you'll need to select I need to register. This is where you'll put your registration activation code that you received in the email. You'll then be prompted to create login credentials that you'll use going forward. Please save them somewhere because you'll need to access Naviance beginning now all the way through your senior year. I always recommend saving your username and your password in the note section on your phone. After registering once, you'll then be prompted just to use your username and password going forward. When you log in, it will look like this. Like I mentioned, Naviance is a program that we're going to spend time using in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and the 12th grade. And every year serves a different role. In 9th and 10th grade, what we primarily want to focus on is self-exploration, learning more about ourselves, learning more about our personality types, our interests, things that we're good at, things that we like to do, acknowledging things that are not our strengths. That's the goal of 9th and 10th grade, is to spend some time doing a little bit more self-discovery. When we move on to junior year, we start to talk about using this program for college exploration. And college exploration entails researching certain colleges and matching them with GPAs and standardized test scores when looking at the selectivity of a particular school. So we'll spend some time looking at that today. And then in senior year, we spend a lot of time using this as something we call an application management system, because this is where we will actually send out supporting documents from the high school to the colleges that students eventually ends up applying to. But like I said, in 9th and 10th grade, the goal of this program is really career and self-exploration, saving the heavy college research for the 11th and 12th grade. We like to focus right now on the why. Why might I want to go to college? What might I want to do after high school? And not so much on the specifics of where I want to go, but why I want to go. That's the goal right now in what we're learning a bit more about ourselves and what we'll use this program for. So a quick overview of this program. This program is used for, as I mentioned, a lot of career exploration. So if we spend time here in the careers tab, there's a number of different interest inventories that students can take to learn more about themselves. The Strengths Explorer and the Career Interest Profiler are really useful for students to do on their own time, but today we're going to spend time doing something called the Do What You Are survey, and we'll come back to talk more about that. Naviance partners with a program called Road Trip Nation. Road Trip Nation is another opportunity to explore more about careers maybe you don't even know exist. Let's spend some time learning a little bit about Road Trip Nation.
Hello, I'm Mariana. I work at Road Trip Nation, and I'll be walking you through the interview archive, which can now be found integrated in Family Connection. This archive caters to anyone regardless if they're confused about the next step in life or actually know exactly where they're heading. So let's get right into it and answer the question, what is Road Trip Nation and what is in this archive? For years, we've been road tripping around the globe, interviewing all sorts of people who do what they love. We've been searching for the key to living a happy life, and we think we found some answers. Now, Road Trip Nation has partnered with Hobson's to bring these stories from around the world directly to students using Family Connection. It's got hundreds of conversations with everyone from professional skateboarders to rocket scientists, sport writers to comedians, and everything in between. Now, let's dig in deeper. Here's how the archive works. For every interview you see, we've broken it down and tagged it according to the leader's interests and the topics they discuss. On top of that, we've selected our favorite quote from each interview and put together a bio with anecdotes about their personal journey. With hundreds of interviews available, we've made it easy to personalize this experience. One simple way is to explore the archive based on interests. For example, say you've been thinking about exploring the world of science. Simply click on the science interest. Here, you'll find leaders who took something as simple as taking things apart and made a living out of it. Maybe they've opened an interactive restaurant like Chef Hamara Cantu, or perhaps curating an observatory like Laura Danley, or even creating a life-changing gadget like inventor Ray Kurzweil. There are pathways within your interests that you may not be aware of, so I encourage you to dig around your interests and see what sticks. We're all about going after things that excite people, but the truth is defining your own road in life isn't always easy. With the Explore by Themes option, you can hear leaders discuss subject matters that most closely relate to you. For example, if you're experiencing doubt, just click on that theme to hear leaders talking about that very same hurdle in their life. Let's take comedian Wanda Sykes. Most people think that she took a straight shot to success, but actually Wanda spent years working for the government and faced disapproval from family when she quit her job to be a comedian. Wanda knew what she wanted to do, but she still had some huge failures along the way. Ultimately, whether it's turning an interest into a livelihood or gathering the guts to make a change, our interview archive offers insights to help make dreams happen. So go ahead, start exploring, and we'll see you on the open road.
And that's an introduction to the program called Road Trip Nation. We hope during times where maybe you're mindlessly scrolling Instagram or Snapchat, that maybe you'll add this to the mix and do some scrolling through these archives to learn more about interests, to learn more about your interests and the careers that might match with those interests, and to hear from professionals in the area. Okay. The About Me section of Naviance includes the assessments that we just reviewed in the My Careers tab, but also includes opportunities for you to house important information about yourself throughout the 4 years of high school. There is a resume builder that can be a good way for you to keep track of the things that you've been involved in throughout high school. When we get to late in junior year, early in senior year, creating a student resume is going to be a requirement. And it's very useful to go back and to have included everything, all of your involvements and everything that you've done, both inside and outside of school in your Naviance program, because then you won't have to spend time in late junior year, early senior year, trying to recall all of the different things that you have been involved in. So keeping track of them here in the resume builder could be a really useful organizational tool for you. When we go to the colleges tab, this is where we hope you'll spend the bulk of time in the second semester of junior year. This is an opportunity, once you have started to think about a potential career path, that you start to match those interests with the education needed to achieve that career path, and start to put names of colleges that offer certain programs to those certain interests and certain career paths. So this is an opportunity to do some college research. Students can type in the name of a college that they're specifically interested in looking at, and they can view some fast fact information about that school. There are a lot of, especially in this day and age, a lot of virtual tour opportunities to become more familiar with certain colleges and universities. But I think what students find most interesting using this tab is the admissions page. On the admissions page, if you scroll down, you get information specific to Tappan Zee High School in regards to students' overall GPAs and standardized test scores and how they fared in applying to certain colleges. So you get the sense of average GPAs and standardized test scores of students accepted at the colleges that you're interested in looking at. Perhaps you don't know which colleges to start looking at. So that's when it can be helpful to do an advanced college search, where you might say, I'd like a 4-year school. I don't want to be too far from home, so I'll stay in either the New England or Mid-Atlantic region. I might be interested in studying nursing, and all the different nursing titles come up. We'll go ahead and add all for this purpose. And we might also say that we'd like to be in a school that's not too big, so we don't want it to go above 15,000 students. And we view the matches, and we can see that there's 223 schools that fit that criteria. Then, if we're interested in looking into one of these schools, and we say to ourselves, you know what, that's one I'd like to save and think about later, we can add it to the colleges I'm thinking about list. This becomes particularly useful in junior year. And then in senior year, the colleges that you're thinking about move to the colleges I'm applying to list down here. And this becomes an application management system where the school can send out your supporting documents like letters of recommendation, transcripts, directly from Naviance to the schools that you apply to. And that's the last step when we get to senior year. But like I said, we're saving the college tab and the research here primarily for junior and senior year, spending 9th and 10th grade really focusing here on the careers tab. Today, we want you to click on and complete the Do What You Are survey. This survey takes about 15 minutes, and there's no right or wrong answers. When you go through, you might find yourself a little torn, split down the middle. We want you to choose your innate instinct, your gut reaction to the one that you're leaning most closely towards. It might not be 100% one way or the other, so you're going to choose the one that you're most identifying with. Don't overthink this. It should be something that you move through quickly. We want you to take this personality assessment that's going to define major dimensions of your personality, whether or not you're introverted, extroverted, something called sensing or intuitive, thinking, feeling, judging, perceptive, judging or perceptive. To help identify what your natural preferences are, what your gifts, your talents are, the way that you lean, because our personalities might influence a career path. For me, as somebody who's more extroverted, it would have been difficult to be in a career path that didn't allow me to interact with other people often. So that's something that we want to think about when choosing our interests is, does it align with my personality? And if it aligns with my personality, I'm more likely to be happy in my chosen path. So we want you to spend some time today learning a bit more about your personality type and then matching that with career interests. Once you go through this survey, at the end, you're going to be given a four-letter personality type and then a lengthier description of that personality type. We want you to spend time reading through that. And then there will be a button that says Match Careers. Go ahead and click that and see which career interests match with that particular personality type. Following the survey, we want you to go to the Google form that you've been provided and spend about 5 minutes completing a short questionnaire about your experience taking this survey. That is a very brief overview of this program. And we hope, again, that you will spend time playing with this and familiarizing yourself with Naviance, because it is a site, like I said, that we're going to use beginning today all the way throughout your high school career. And we think it's an important tool in helping you to learn more about yourself. If there's any questions about this program or any difficulty accessing this program, don't forget to reach out to your counselor directly. We're checking our email often throughout distance learning. Thanks so much, everyone.